souls, children of God. Welcome on today's episode. Such a pleasure to be joined by you. I am Y311H, and with me here is the Book of Wisdom, the guidelines of human beings. This one has some interesting message for us today. Listen to what it says. Cast your cares on the Lord, and He will sustain you. He will never let the righteous fall. Wonderful word that one, my friends. It's from Psalm 55, verse 22. Now, on this video, we shall be spreading good vibes together, ensuring all earthlings are loving, caring with one another, honest, forgiving, and united, living as one people. And this message, my friend, we shall be spreading it reacting to good vibes videos. These videos, I hope you watch till the end because there is something for your soul. But before we dive in, let's give thanks for life and take a look at the videos. Thank you, Father, for this day. Thank you for your love and joy, for kindness, dear Lord, and for your spirit in us. We give you glory, Father. Thank you for the words from the book of wisdom, Father. Thank you for your precious child, today's viewer. Thank you for you shall bless them, Father, and uplift their souls. In your holy name, Jesus Christ, we do pray, trusting and believing. Amen. Child of God, let's dive in. Look at this. This allegedly is the Starship Splashdown. But now, look at it. Wow, 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 wow. Hi! It looks like jokes. Is this real? Hi! This thing looks like rusted metal. What is the color of it? Wow! No! Hi! But why is it not going like straight up? Or it's going sideways? Am I seeing my own things here? This one is crazy stuff. Oh my god! Wow! Look at this! Is it that it runs in the water or what's up? Does it have a driver? Is there someone inside? Oh my god! Wow! This is interesting. Look at this thing! Wow! 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 It's like it is cooling down. Wow! Yeah, this is technology. Blue. Blue.
Lavender.
Purple.
Okay, that was. What color is this?
Red.
It's what? Fuchsia.
Is that a color? Fuchsia.
My pink is fuchsia. Okay. What is this one?
That one now is brown.
Ooh.
Red.
Cinnabar. You know, I remember Cinnabar because it kind of reminds me of like a cinnamon. Yes, the hot cinnamon candy Cinnabar.
This is not
I
brown.
didn't even notice there was an option on the board.
Okay, we're going on to the next one.
Magenta.
You know, really? You think that? What's
This
the
is
difference between
pink.
magenta and fuchsia?
It's darker.
They look the same.
Fuchsia has more pink and
Oh my
magenta
god.
has more
This is bad.
purple and red. This one.
That one is yellow.
No. What color is this one? Because when I think about this, I think about sunflower seeds for some reason. You know, so
Saffron was red. Like
no,
I thought saffron was like
no.
purple.
It's this is it, saffron.
Pewter?
Gray. This one is gray.
Say it.
Pewter.
Pewter. Okay, okay.
Hey, is this a prank or what's going on
Okay.
here?
So what color did I not call out?
Celadon.
Celadon. You know where celadon is at in this
Or
one?
Unused.
is
It
the
is on me. Yes.
is the
my
colors
shirt
in a
is
different
celadon.
language? Yeah, this could
It's
be.
not
Is this
silver.
French?
It
Or what is this?
between sage green and
English people help us.
celadon. So, let me ask
What?
you something. Did you
This
learn
is the
something new?
education in first world countries. I'm surprised.
Colors.
Wow.
Okay, did you ever see that song? That Bruce
This is
Colors?
good vibes
You see
running.
them all around. Where does it go? How there's red in the stoplight, green in the...
What?
Yeah.
On this side of the world, good vibes sauce, we only run seven
y'all
colors.
like that.
The colors
That's not
of
the
the
way I talk
rainbow.
about preschool. Okay.
Red,
So, Miss James has on what color is my
green,
shirt?
blue. None of those colors is here.
What color did you really have never heard of?
All of them, all of them, all of
Yeah, and
them.
what's the other one? Cinnabar. So, will you use these words?
no.
No. Oh, I gotta tell you something. A fun fact. One time I knew a student cheated because she wrote a story and she said that something was chrism. Crimson. And I was like, that's not a word I even use. So I called to my desk and I asked her, I said, what does this mean? And she said, oh, you know. I said, no, I don't. That's why I asked you. And she said, well, it's too much to explain. I said, no, explain it. And she couldn't explain it, so then that's when I did a little Google search, and I found out that she copied her whole essay, and it was a word that means like a dark red. She didn't even know it, but she used it. Yes. What? Yes, it is a dark red, but she didn't know that. But that's how I found out she cheated, because she didn't know the color. So yeah, learn something new.
Wow, okay, that was an interesting story.
I have a theory about Mall World. Are you familiar? It's this place that apparently a lot of people go to in their dreams. It's not just a mall, it's a bunch of other things, like an airport, and there's a school and a theater and a fancy hotel with a very important business meeting, right? There's also a nightmare toilet situation. It's a lot of things that would like kind of induce like panic or stress, or things that would be really distracting. And so what I think that this place is when people fall asleep, stick with me here, they astral project out of their bodies, and Mall World is supposed to kind of be like a net that it's like catches the astral bodies and keeps them there, and there's all kinds of things that are meant to distract you or to trick you into thinking that you're really awake and you're really late for this important meeting, or oh my god, I'm gonna miss my plane, or
Are you
look at this
understanding
great
this?
mall, whatever, you know. It has all the trappings of real life.
Could be the
So
effect
it's supposed
of
to
fake
keep you
food.
there and keep you from going and causing trouble or something. I don't know. Anyways, I'd forgotten about Mall World until I saw, I think the creator's name is Tilton, is doing a bunch of videos on the Mall World right now. I didn't think I'd ever been until I saw their videos, because I thought it was just a mall, and I don't go to the mall. I go to the school, I go to the cliffs, I'm in all kinds of parking lots and parking garages, but most of the time, I'm in that fucking nightmare bathroom.
Wow, okay, that one sounds like a story.
I can very quickly show you how you can detect your third eye, your pineal gland, and its
Okay, good
movements.
vibes.
So, here you have two
Yeah.
objects. I want you to look at this one with your eyes and focus your eyes on this one. And then while you have your eyes focused on this one, I want you to have your attention switch to this one. Now, come back to this one and focus on this one, and then very slowly with your eyes focused on this one, you're gonna have your attention shift to the black one. You see, you use your
Like something
That's right there,
happened.
bro. Now the cool thing is that you can also use this muscle to go within your body and feel your hands, your feet, and create a meditation based on
Wow,
this.
okay, that one is good vibes, guy, that one.
Saudi is the last name of all the royal families, right?
Right, Saudi or Saud, yes. S capital S-A-U-D or Saud. Those people are not
Ow!
Arabs. They're not even Muslims. They're
What is that?
crypto-Khazarians. Now, what is a crypto Jew or a crypto-Khazarian? They came out of central Turkey in 1401, and then down through the centuries, with the help of the Western powers, years later, decades and centuries later, from the United States, Great Britain, France, Germany, we need a fabricated kingdom called the House of Saud or Saud. A crypto Jew means publicly they're Muslims, Mohammed bin Salman, but privately they are
What?
Talmudic.
What is good vibes guy talking about here? Oh, this is for entertainment purposes, my friends. Wow, look at this hole. Wow, there are people. Look, there is good vibes guys walking down here in caves, in a hole. Wow. Respect to these guys. What? This looks like a risky job. But look at this. This good vibes guy here is out there doing his best. This is incredible. Much love, my friend, and big up to all the people out there doing something, whatever it is you do. Yeah. Wow. Oh, these guys are digging rare earth minerals. What? Is this how it is done? Oh no. This looks like a risky process. Wow. Look at this. Child of God watching. Would you rather do that work or find the final products? Myself, I would like to hear your
question
answer.
to the historians out there, but historically, if you were put in front of a formation like this, would you just die? I asked this question because in every Total War game I've ever played, the guys in front, they're always dead.
You know, my friends, it genuinely is a good question. How exactly do you determine who goes to the front lines, and does everyone in the front line just die while everyone in the back gets to relax? Well, no, but also on that note, it does depend entirely on the culture, type of fighting, etc. that you are doing. The first thing that one needs to understand about warfare is that in fighting, it is both extremely brutal and simultaneously exhausting. You will not be able to fight on the front line for an extended period. You will exhaust yourself very quickly, oftentimes after only a couple of minutes. As such, cycling out what troops are on the front is extremely important, and that is not something that is typically represented in a lot of video games. But historically, certain cultures and groups were better at doing this than others, with the worst examples of it being like anything that uses a shield wall formation. The Greek phalanx, the Anglo-Saxon shield wall, etc. All of these things are going to struggle to be able to cycle out forces because it was about creating an impenetrable line that really had a difficult time moving once all the soldiers were locked into place. The Romans, on the other hand, were masters at cycling out their forces because they used a formation called a quincunx, which was a type of checkerboard formation, on top of which, because of the way they would fight, the individual soldiers from the front would be able to cycle out to the sides and rear of the formation, leading to another line being able to fight behind them, thus constantly keeping the soldiers fresh. This means that when Roman soldiers went up against phalanxes or other formations of barbarian tribes utilizing shield walls, the Romans were oftentimes able to wear out the enemy in front of them that literally could not stand against them, and their front line would collapse from
Why
exhaustion.
use all your energy and resources fighting when you can just forgive one another and be friends? You see? Now look at this. This one is like some animals out there gave each other idea and they decided to carry it out. Who would catch that humans and come back quickly? It's incredible.
Who needs to hear this, but just a PSA. Researchers from the University of Oxford's Cognitive and Evolutionary Anthropology Unit found that belief in gods evolved as a byproduct of pattern seeking and social bonding, and not revelation.
What? How?
Does anyone else wonder why the border between Egypt and Gaza looks like the Egyptians are trying to keep the zombie apocalypse out of their country?
Wow, look at this one. What?
Or is it just me?
What? Humans, what's going on, really?
Yo, Miss Liz, you got a wedding ring, right?
Yeah.
All right. You think it's real?
Yeah, of course.
Let me test it.
It's real, right?
Okay. That's fake.
What?
I think
Real, right?
this is fake.
Our friend here decided to shake relationships.
All right.
I told you.
Wow, okay.
Okay.
Look at this.
Let's see.
Bam! What I do? What I do? Come on, get this one right here. Get this one
This
right
one?
here.
All right.
Oh, not good.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't think it's real.
What you mean you don't think it's real?
It's supposed to
I
be
think
real.
that's after I have been married 20 years. That's
People
anniversary. I know that one real.
No, I think it's
Read minerals on their hands. It's really thing. I thought this was movie stuff. It's really funny.
Better be real, because if not, we'll have to answer some questions.
I've never seen it. I've never seen one of these stones in my life close up. I'm surprised people are worried some are fake and some are real. They all look great. But that one is just unbelievable. I look at this one. It's a good way to get here with a friend from nature. Hey, is he talking?
Ew. Open your mouth.
Is this man talking or is editing?
Ew, gross. Ew, did you spit that at me?
What? Is that a normal bird?
Why is the railgun such a terrifying weapon, and what the heck is this thing? Long story short, it's a super powerful cannon that doesn't require any kind of ammunition aside from electricity, but it can fire rounds 10 times faster than anything else out there. Current artillery can fire a round at about 4,000 feet a second, and that sounds pretty fast, but a railgun can fire something at 52,000 feet per second. That is currently 46 times the speed of sound, faster than any hypersonic missile. Now, it can go that fast, but the only railgun that is currently in service fires rounds at about 8,000 feet per second. So, okay, let's say Mach 7. But even still, at Mach 7, anything fired from a railgun is going to go through most forms of armor. It'll easily eat through steel, reinforced concrete. But the railgun's destructive capacity isn't the only thing that makes it so sought after by a lot of the great powers. Most weaponry, or most howitzers, or most cannons generally need to be within 10 to 15, maybe 20 miles in order to launch effective bombardments. But the railgun can be 150, 200 miles away, so anyone firing this weapon, generally sailors, are completely safe, or if not completely safe, much safer than they'd be 10 miles offshore. And then there's the fact that traditional artillery has to fire parabolically. It doesn't go straight, so when you're firing traditional weaponry, you have to aim up in the air, make the calculations, fire away, then you let the round reach the summit, its height, and then it falls onto its target to its death and destruction. The railgun doesn't have this limitation. It just aims straight ahead at what it's supposed to destroy, meaning that not only is it so much faster than traditional artillery, it's also getting to its destination at a much shorter distance, making it pretty much impossible to intercept. But something that's very underrated about the railgun that we really have to keep in mind is it is not a weapon that has to be reloaded like traditional artillery. You could have the most powerful ship and have 155 millimeter howitzers, great, but you could fill that entire ship with just those shells. You will eventually run out. Not so when it comes to the railgun. Ideally, it can keep firing forever. All you have to eventually start doing is replacing the rails as they start to face corrosion and recoil and all that stuff. But that is a much cheaper trick than constantly refilling for shells. There are other drawbacks to the railgun, and I promise you I'll get to that. Actually, no, let's talk about the weaknesses of the railgun and why only one country has been able to do it, even though China, the United States, Turkey, and India are working very hard at it. And the United States has flopped with the railgun. In 2021, the US Navy pretty much wrapped up and said, we're not going to be able to do this without constantly cracking the barrels, and we're not going to devote any more money to perfect this while there are other technologies we want to research, like other forms of hypersonic interception. Now, the largest weakness by far of the railgun is that it just requires so much energy to use. Now, if this was just mounted on land, there aren't so many constraints, but if you want to be able to move this sucker around, for now, we're limited to putting them on ships, and it would take like an aircraft carrier or a corvette or something that can generate a great deal of power. Not from its own fuel source, but somewhere you could put very large power capacitors. And even with very large and efficient power capacitors, that is still a finite source of power. So another weakness about the railgun involves how and what makes it so powerful, and that is the use of magnetism. It's called a railgun because there is a projectile that is fired between two rails. One rail has positive current coming through it in one direction, and the second rail has negative current that makes a circuit back to the power source. Between these two opposing currents, scientists and engineers much smarter than myself are able to direct a great deal of that magnetic energy forward. And between these two rails with opposing current going between them is the harness for the projectile, which is called the armature. When there is enough electromagnetic force being generated between these two opposing rails of current, the armature is chambered back and fires forward. It releases the projectile, and then the projectile does its thing. So the projectile is not pushed by any form of material propellant, and it also doesn't have any explosive device on the very tip of it. It's just its own thing, a piece of metal that gets fired very fast. Remember, a lot of destructive force is being generated between these two rails, and there is a great deal of recoil, which of course will eventually destroy the rails or corrode them, and it will mess up the overall device. Ergo, the US Navy's crying about cracked barrels. But let's think of the railgun outside of military applications, because almost every military invention eventually has some type of civilian use, and I really like what the railgun can do for everybody. My absolute favorite application of the railgun is using it to launch rockets into space instead of hundreds of tons of fuel. Imagine that. Imagine the energy saved. Imagine how many more rockets, how many more satellites could be fired into space if we actually perfect the railgun technology, because it could easily fly something 10 miles in 1 second into outer space. Okay, that would probably kill everyone on board, but something slower is still a freaking amazing concept. But another more practical application, even though it's not my favorite one, would be the use of the railgun for anything industrial. Perfect example, bolting anything through or hammering any type of deep impact to make very sophisticated machinery can be rendered so much cheaper with the use of the railgun. The railgun doesn't just have to be used to fire bullets or projectiles, it can also be used as a form of hammering or beating metal. Let's just use the turbine for a jet engine just as an example. It takes days to make the turbine for a jet engine for the sheer fact that you have to heat the metal in order to properly manipulate it, and of course you're using severe impacts to get the shape just right. This involves days sometimes of waiting for the turbine to cool, but you don't have to deal with that if we have something that can generate a very powerful impact in a focus-directed way like a railgun. If the technology gets perfected and applied to industrial use, it can make jet engine turbines in hours instead of weeks or days, and instead of it costing $1 or $2 million to make, it can cost $200,000 or $300,000, maybe even cheaper. But there is a whole library of industrial uses for this type of technology. We can't just think of how we can make things go boom boom, right? And if you're curious about the one country that actually has a railgun in use, it's this one right here. Let me know if you have any more questions about the rail.
That is mind-blowing technology, completely amazing. What?